It has been hot as fuck lately. It has been so hot lately, I could cry. It is really hard to sleep these days, given just how hot it is. Even with the house having AC on, it is still so hot. And it's even worse at work. At work, we got an email from like the mall management saying like 2 of the air conditioned units aren't working properly, thus not providing the mall sufficient cooling during these days. Oh, great. Inside the mall is definitely a lot cooler than outside, but it's still very hot inside. Right now, I basically am going through a shirt a day. When I wear a shirt to work, when I come home, I need to put it into the washing bin. Because it is drenched, it is soaked, it is stinking in sweat. Normally I wear a shirt for quite a long time. I know that's nasty, but that's besides the point. But now, I really can't. I wear one shirt, a clean shirt at the beginning of the day. By the end of the day, it smells foul, just because of how hot and sweaty it is. I don't like summertime. It's too hot. I don't get the luxury of losing weight from the summer heat. So anyways, a couple things I want to correct. I said a few things in the past, which now I would like to correct. I would like to rectify what I said before. So previously I mentioned how my sister was going on a trip to New York. And I said it was like some sort of BTS thing. I think there was like a BTS concert happening there. I don't remember if I mentioned concert. But I did mention some sort of BTS thing taking place in New York. Well, if I did say concert, then let me correct that. It turns out my sister took a trip and flew all the way to New York for a BTS art exhibit. She paid for an entire flight, went on a trip to New York for, I kid you not, a day and a half, just for a freaking BTS art exhibit. Her poor husband, you know, now that he's married to her, he needs to be dragged along. Not only that, and not only has it been super hot these days, the man's pretty cheap. He's quite a cheapskate. He's, you know, he's not Mr. Krabs levels of cheap, but he is quite stingy. So for now, his wife to want to go all the way to New York, fly all the way to New York for literally a day and a half, just for a goddamn art exhibit. Not even a concert. I mean, to each their own, I suppose, but still. And when I say a day and a half, I mean it. She's coming home, tonight. For all I know, she said she'll be home around like 11:30. So, I don't know if she's at the airport, like she's touched down at the airport yet or what. Or if she's still in the air right now, flying. Regardless, she left like 2 days ago and she's coming back tonight. Wish I could take a trip for a day and a half. Then again, not really. That seems like a huge waste. If I'm going on a trip, it sure as hell won't be for a day and a half. Even if it is somewhere close by like New York. So that's one thing I wanted to correct. If I said concert last time, no, it's an art exhibit. Man, she sent pictures too. She went to Times Square. She went to the Empire State Building. And she had this, like, pizza restaurant. I don't know. I didn't look at the name beforehand. I probably should have. So another thing I want to correct that I said in the past, that I've actually forgotten to mention, like, the past 2 or 3 of these. So I previously discussed Labubu, that fucking piece of shit. You know me, I don't care about Labubus. The craze is dying down anyways. At least from what I see. And hear. So I previously mentioned how that rainbow set of Labubus, there was a purple one in there, and my sister wanted that one. I guess I misunderstood what my sister said, because I thought she had ordered the entire goddamn set just to ensure she got the purple one. And then I was saying, well, I don't care about Labubus, but since my sister ordered the whole set, there's a red one in there. I may as well snatch it for myself. I don't care about it, but, you know. She only wants the purple one. She doesn't care about the other colors. Well, if she has it and she doesn't care to have it, then I guess I may as well take it for myself. So that was what I was saying before. That was my initial plan. She bought the whole set. She only wanted one in the set. And, well, if she didn't want the other one, if she didn't want the color that I like, then I may as well just take it for myself. Well, correction on that. I guess I misunderstood, because it turns out my sister did not order the whole set. She only ordered the purple one. She only ordered the color that she wanted. So, no red one for me. Oh, no. Anyways. Yes, very sad. Anyways. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care enough to go out and buy it for myself. I do not care. It was just, you know, like I said, if she was gonna have it and she didn't want it, then I may as well take it for myself. But she doesn't have it, so I don't care. No Instagram posts for me, I suppose, but then again, like, who cares? So let's see, Pokemon Go, we got some news for the 9th anniversary. The biggest thing, I think, is... I was about to say Gimmighoul, but no, the biggest thing would be Jirachi. Shiny Jirachi is coming back in Pokemon Go. The Masterworks research for Shiny Jirachi is coming back. Only thing is... you can only get one in the game, so if you got it before, like I did, you can't pay to get a second one. Because, oh boy, you bet, if I could pay $5, this sounds so bad. If I could pay $5 to get my hands on a second Shiny Jirachi, I would. Wow, that is such a degenerate sentence I just said out loud. But yeah, if I could pay another $5 and get a second Shiny Jirachi, I totally would. But I can't. At least not in my game. What I could do, since I downloaded I downloaded Pokemon Go on my sister's phone, I could buy the Masterworks research on her phone. Yes, I'm not able to trade it to myself, but I am able to send it to Pokemon Home, I think. Pretty sure. Jirachi is not one of the Pokemon with a restriction to go into Pokemon Home. No, that luxury belongs to Spinda, Zygarde, and Comfu. So aside from Shiny Jirachi making its return for $5 USD, so that's like $7 for me, $8 if I wanted a second one, which I can't anyways. Not on my game, at least. Aside from that, Gimme Ghoul in Pokemon Go for the 9th anniversary will have a quote-unquote costume. I say quote-unquote because the coin on Gimme Ghoul's back will have a 9 on it to celebrate 9 years of Pokemon Go. And the thing is, if you've seen Gimme Ghoul in Pokemon Go, it's tiny. And the 9 is even more tiny, so you can barely tell. What's the point? I'm still gonna go for it though, you know? Because not only will Gimme Ghoul have a costume, quote unquote, it's also going to have the ability to be shiny for the first time. That has been what I've been waiting for. Ever since Gimme Ghoul was introduced into Pokemon Go, I have been doing the coin bag daily, almost daily. You know, I may have missed a couple days because I either flat out forgot or I went on a trip, but for the most part, majority, ever since Gimme Ghoul came out in Pokemon Go, I've been doing it daily. I have 6 Golden Go's in my Pokemon Go that I evolved myself. And I have 9,000 Gimme Ghoul coins. I wait until I'm just about to max out before I evolve into another Gimme Ghoul to make more space to get more coins. So let's see, 6 times 999, that's 5,994 plus... I forget exactly how many Gimme Ghoul coins I have right now. Let's say maybe 9,300 plus 5,994. Regardless, whatever the number is. In my Pokemon Go, I have gotten bare minimum 15,000 Gimme Ghoul coins. That's me. That's what I've been doing. So, hope everyone's excited for Shiny Gimme Ghoul to make it into Pokemon Go, while the Shiny sucks. While Shiny Golden Go sucks. It's a Shiny nonetheless. So, let me give you guys a quick update on my progress in Diamond. So, I'm 1 gym badge in, and I've made it to Eterna Forest. And then I realized Eterna Forest is kind of a gold mine for experience. I battled 2 Pokemon at once, so that's double the experience. And Cheryl, I almost forgot her name, and Cheryl heals up my Pokemon every single time. So this place is a gold mine for experience. So what I've been doing the past couple days is I've just been running back and forth grinding experience. Okay, so if you look here, here I am in Eterna Forest with Cheryl, and if I go into my Pokemon, look, I am working on training up my Pokemon before I leave Eterna Forest. I'm probably going to stop at level 30 and then I'm going to go. Anyways, you get the idea. So yeah, I'm probably going to level up my Pokemon until level 30, and then I'm going to leave Eterna Forest. You might be thinking you're over-leveling, you know? You're 1 gym badge in, and you're going to have a team of 4 that are level 30. Well, if I don't level up now, if I don't grind now, I'll have to do it later on anyways. And the thing is, I actually do need to grind in old school games. Because it's not like Pokemon games now where the experience share is on all the time and your entire team gets experience. No. In the old games, only one Pokemon gets experience as long as it's sent out onto the battle. If not, your Pokemon does not get experience. So, yeah. Especially in older games, I very much do need to grind for levels. If I'm not gonna grind now, I'm gonna have to grind later anyways. You know, it would be fabulous if I end up getting a shiny during my ginormous grind sesh in Eterna Forest. Pause. Look at that, my Monferno just turned level 29. Wants to learn Torment. No. You know, as I was deciding to stay in Eterna Forest to grind, at first I only had like 3 Pokeballs. And then I left to go buy like 50 Pokeballs just to be sure. Just in case a shiny shows up. Because you never know. We don't want another situation like me finding a shiny Rattata in Crystal to happen again. For those who don't know or don't remember, when I was just grinding for levels in my Crystal Virtual Console, I found a random shiny Rattata, and I had like 3 Pokeballs. My entire team was super higher level, so any attack would have knocked it out one hit. My only hope was to poison it. No. I threw 2 of my 3 Pokeballs. It failed. So my only hope was to poison it, wait for poison to lower down the health, and then throw my last Pokeball. So there was 2 ways I could fail. Obviously, if the Pokeball failed, I would be out of Pokeballs to catch. And then the poison. My choices were to either paralyze it or poison it before throwing my last Pokeball. Well, if the ball failed, then paralysis doesn't matter anyways. So I opted for poison. That way poison can at least lower the health. And luckily enough, I caught it. Final Pokeball. On a poisoned shiny Rattata. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna grind in Eterna Forest until my team is level 30. Notice how my Bidoof evolved into a B-Barrel and is also around that level as well? I'm gonna carry that B-Barrel around me because it's an HM slave. Remember that short Pokemon put out basically roasting everyone for using a Bidoof? God himself, a Bidoof, as an HM slave? Roasted the hell out of everyone, including me. Even though this is technically my first time using Bidoof as an HM slave. Oh shit, Ironheart came out? Oops. I just got a text that Ironheart indeed sucks. Oh, it came out today. Today on June 24th. I would say oops, but yeah, meh. I see 3 episodes came out today. As much as I don't want to watch it, I'll watch it eventually. So let's see. In terms of my Pokemon Home, Pokemon Go Pokedex, today I was finally able to register at least a couple of more annoying and difficult ones to register. So we are just before Go Fest. And I believe if you're someone like me who purchased the ticket, then before Go Fest actually starts, you get to hatch things in eggs. So in 2 kilometer eggs, there's a bunch of things that are part of the event. Nothing too special, nothing I really care about. But the 2 kilometer eggs have higher shiny odds. I've hatched a handful and I have not gotten a single shiny. I think the only regionals in the 2 kilometer eggs are the Flabébé colors. I did hatch a blue one. That's cool. And more importantly, the 5 kilometer eggs. 5 kilometer eggs for the time. I can hatch Torkoal. I can hatch Pachirisu, which I don't care about because I already got it. Although a shiny would be nice. So I can hatch Torkoal, Pachirisu, Klefki, and Skidoo. Actually, yesterday is when I hatched the Skidoo. Sent it to Pokemon Home, evolved it, so I got Skidoo and Go-Goat registered. Today, I hatched a Torkoal, which I sent over to Pokemon Home and got registered. So those annoying things are done with. I still need that Klefki. And there's a couple things in Go Fest I need to get my hands on, specifically Hawlucha and a Drampa. I didn't do any of the Drampa raids, stupidly enough. A couple years ago when they were out. And there is one line of Pokemon I completely forgot that I am able to register, but I only have one of in Pokemon Go, and it's pretty exclusive, pretty limited. That being Poipole and Naganadel. I only have one Poipole in Pokemon Go, just like everyone else has only one. So I may want to hold off on sending that just for the time. At least until maybe we get another one in the future, but who knows when that'll be the case. And I doubt anyone is really willing to part ways with theirs, you know? Unless I could get it on my sister's phone, but I think the event's gone by now. Okay, so I just got another text. I thought I'd check it out, and the first 5 minutes she's already comparing herself to Tony. As much as it pains me, I'm still going to watch it for the sake of completion. I don't want to, though. I very much don't want to, because everything about the show looks like it sucks. But I will still give it a fair shot. Like, if I could go... If I can endure Secret Invasion, Echo, and She-Hulk, I can watch Ironheart. You know, earlier today, matter of fact, at the very end of the day, I had a customer who, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt bad for. So it was a mother and a son, a grown-up son. I can't tell how old this guy is. I imagine like maybe either late teens or early adulthood. I don't know, rough estimate anywhere from like 17 to maybe 21. It's hard to say. She was, or rather her son was looking for a pair of sunglasses. Well, the guy, he picked out like an expensive Dior frame. The lowest we were gonna give was $480, and she was saying how her insurance only covers $200. You know, I kind of felt bad for her, because, you know, her son may not understand money yet. Like, even if you're around the age of, I don't know, like I said, 17 to 21. At that point, at least that was the case for me, I still didn't fully understand the importance of money, right? And as a mother, you know, you as a parent, you just have, you gotta buy your kid what your kid wants, right? For the most part. So her kid wanted something expensive, and that was like almost double her budget. So she was like, is there anything you can do? And I tried my best. You know, I tried my best to convince her this is the best that we can do. She's like, not even $450? I'm just like, miss, please. And we just stared for a couple seconds like, I'm not lowering this price for you. And she just stared at me as if giving off the vibe, you're seriously not going to lower the price. You know, I did kind of feel bad for her. She's, I would assume, a hardworking mother trying to pay for her kids' very high expenses. But at the same time, it's like, well, nobody in the world ever does me a favor. Why do I have to be the one to hand out favors, Why do I have to be the one to lower the price for this person? Nobody ever does that for me. And I have to think. You know, I have to think about myself and my own family. Because, you know, if I lowered it from $480 to $450, you know, save these people $30, that's $30 less in our pocket. So I have to think about myself. I have to think about my own, right? My own family, my own people. I can't worry about everyone. Part of me wanted to, but then I had to think about myself. So, no. She reluctantly purchased it anyways, so that's a good thing. At least on my end, that's a good thing. And you know, she was also put on the spot as well. Cause I guess the guy, the son, had some sort of event going on the next day, some sort of sports event, I would assume. Cause, you know, he kept on saying like, but I want it for tomorrow. So something's happening tomorrow. The mother, the lady, she was like, would you be able to order us a new one? Because this is the one that everyone has tried on. And I told her we could, but you know, you have to wait. Excuse me. And then she tries to pull the line that everyone tries to pull on me. Can you do a little bit better since this is the one that everyone else has tried? And I'm still like, no. You know, you don't see me doing the same. I don't go to H&M, ask the cashier, can you get me a better price? Because this is the same shirt hanging on the rack that everyone else has tried on in the fitting room. You don't see me doing that at Old Navy. So, no. She's trying to be the greatest inventor in this generation. Don't know what that makes Tony LOL. Probably the greatest in the universe. Oh yeah, also today in Pokemon Go, I completed the paid, timed research for the Galarian bird. In Pokemon Go, they had available for purchase a ticket that would guarantee an encounter with a Galarian bird. Obviously, I wasn't going to pass up this opportunity, even if it is a huge waste of money. Yeah, I bought it. I bought it. Because it's a guaranteed encounter with a Galarian bird. We all know how elusive and how difficult those things are. So which one did I pick? You can only pick one of the three. Well, I picked the worst choice. I picked Articuno. I say worst choice because I hear people online saying that Articuno is the worst attacker out of the three or whatever. I don't care. I don't do PvP, I don't battle, I don't care. I picked Articuno because I already have one Galarian Zapdos and two Galarian Moltres in my game. And I still have not yet been able to catch a Galarian Articuno. At least not out of a daily incense. So technically today, I have all three. Not only that, all three in regular Pokeballs, by the way. Not Ultra Balls. Not Master Balls. Now, as of today in Pokemon Go, I have all three Galarian birds in regular Pokeballs. You could say, you can make the argument that one of them doesn't count. The Articuno doesn't count because I paid for it. I didn't actually get it myself off of the daily incense. And you know what? That's a valid criticism. That's a valid argument. One day I will be able to catch it off of the daily incense. And one day, I'll catch a shiny one too! I still have yet to see a shiny Galarian bird for myself. Ugh. I'm trying to think. During Pokemon Go Fest, there's not really a whole lot of shiny Pokemon I really want aside from the regionals. And of course the costume Pokemon. So I'm gonna try my best to get my hands on a shiny costume Pikachu. There's 3. They're all wearing the suit and top hat. There's a red, yellow, and blue variation. I'm gonna try to get my hands on all of them. And if I can, male and female as well. I'm gonna try to get my hands on the shiny costume Phalanx. And of course I want to try to get my hands on the shiny regional. So shiny Torkoal, Klefki, Pachirisu from my understanding. Shiny Hawlucha. So yeah. That's what I'm hoping for in Go Fest. Alright, I just looked it up and no, Poipole is not still available in Pokemon Go. So I can't right now make a new account and get another one. Damn it. Well, it'll return at some point in the future, I'm sure. Just gotta be patient. Hold on, I hear my dad and his friends just did movement in the house, so I gotta go and see if there's any lights to turn off. One more encounter, though, after this one. Still training in Eterna Forest on the side. Okay, let me go take a look. Okay, it's too soon. It's not time to turn off the lights yet. Ooh. So tonight we have another episode of Gen V, as well as The Boys Presents Diabolico to discuss. Episode 5 for both of these shows. Let's let my dad and his friends finish first, so I can turn off the lights and then come back to, talk about it. My Staravia is now level 28, and it can learn the move Aerial Ace. Alright, let me go close the lights real quick. Hold on, still not time yet. Almost though. That's not shiny, right? No. And just a reminder that I'm grinding so much in regular Diamond, I don't have the luxury of what I can do nowadays, using Pokemon Home, sending my Pokemon to a different game, and either using experience candy or battling really high level wild Pokemon. I don't get the luxury of that. Right now, in this game, I'm on my own. If I want to level up, I need to do it myself, and the old way, which is grinding. Alright, now's the time to go turn off the lights. Okay, I'm back. That is definitely not shiny. Okay, let's start talking about Gen V. But first, let me put on some sort of background music. Oh, I'm out of breath. I'm so fat. Okay, let me think. What music do I want to put on? It's not really music, but whatever. Alright, so Gen V episode 5. Remember how at the end of the last episode, it's episode 5, right? Is this thing tilted? How'd that happen? I'm pretty sure it's episode 5. The end of the last episode, they were pursuing Sam before he kills Dr. Cardosa and his family. And then, out of nowhere, we just jump to, for some reason, Marie and Jordan in bed. Like, what happened? So this episode, our characters wake up. Andre and Kate wake up at a party. There's this, like, slime everywhere, so they investigate. The invisible guy is also, you know, tangles. Is also entanglement with an alpaca. Alright. I don't think it's that one character we saw in The Boys Diabolical who can turn into any animal, because that person's dead. So we find out what the slime is. It's basically a female discharge. So at the party, this guy can vibrate his hands and, ooh, you know the potentials that has. And this girl has a freaking blowhole on her back, and that's what the slime is. Man, that Compound V shit is some powerful stuff. I mean, what the hell's in that stuff? Terrigen crystals? For God's sake, it's the same color anyways. So they realize that, wait, what happened last night? How do we end up here at this party? So everyone individually wakes up. Not only does Andre and Kate wake up, Marie and Jordan wake up side by side, naked as well, implying we know what they did the night before. Marie finds Emma, giant-sized Emma, asleep in the pool, naked but with the pool covers covering her. Now, I gotta say, I couldn't help but notice that the CGI for Emma being big was pretty bad in the scene. Not only did she kind of look out of place, but I could not help but notice the water interacting with her body just doesn't flow naturally whatsoever. Like, I get it, CGI is hard. Yeah. So, big size Emma in the pool just didn't look right. But if you must know, look specifically at the way the water interacts with her legs. It does not flow whatsoever. It looks pretty bad, but whatever. So we now know that Emma can not only shrink, but can also grow big, depending on how much she eats. I forgot to bring up this question last time, discussing the previous episode. Does Emma have a limit? Or does she just naturally grow as she just eats an ordinary meal? Like, you know, does she have a limit to where she's just normal human size? Or if she just keeps eating, if she even eats like junk food, does she just keep on growing? Is there no limit to her? Like, does she have to restrict herself to, like, exactly a set amount of calories a day so that she can look the size of a normal person? Or is it only when she completely scarfs down and stuffs her face that she grows? So, like, if she's just having a big meal, an ordinary big meal, a Thanksgiving feast, does she keep on growing? Or, you know, is there a limit? Does she just have a normal meal and stay the same regular size, average size? Or does it happen as she takes a bite, as she eats every single time? Anyway, so she throws up in the pool. We see later on that she threw up in the pool. She and Marie are talking, and Sam shows up, but Marie and Emma don't recognize him. They don't know who he is. Sam recognizes what's going on. They had their memories erased. They are trying to keep them away, but like, who's they? So Sam runs away, promising that he'll fix this. He'll make them remember. He promises he'll make Emma remember that she's a hero. I think it would have hit more. I think it would have been more effective if in the writing, Sam's dialogue, he would have said something like, I promise I will make you remember. Remember what? That you're a hero. You're a real hero. Because you saved my life. If he added the because you saved my life part, I think that would have hit so much harder. Instead of just saying, because you're a hero, a real hero, and then running off. So this episode, we also get a little bit more development of just how far Marie's powers reach. Because not only is she able to control blood outside the body, we learned last episode she's able to control blood inside the body by exploding that guy's dick. His name is Rufus. I swear, I didn't remember his name in the previous episode, but this episode, he's very prevalent. Or at least much more prevalent than the last episode. And I gotta say, of course his name is Rufus. You know? Given what we learn he likes to do, you know, of course they would give him the name that sounds a lot like Roofies. Because that's basically, supposedly, allegedly, what he's been doing with his powers. Disgusting stuff. But allegedly, you know, we don't know, considering how the episode played out. But with what we saw him try to do to Marie the last episode, yeah, it's not a very good look. Okay. So, anyway, so we also learned what else Marie can do with her powers. She can also tell, say, when a woman's period is coming next. Because Emma asked her, when's my next period, by the way? And Marie's just like, probably next Friday. Or this upcoming Friday, whatever she said. So, okay, she can tell that. You think she can tell her own? Because if my sister has taught me anything, it's that it's a bit of a surprise whenever the period hits. And it's not fun. So if Marie is able to tell for herself and prepare days in advance, that's a huge advantage from my understanding. So our group gathers. Andre, Kate, Jordan, they all gather and they all realize there's gaps in our memory. Not just of last night, but of the last few days. So the couple of events that happened the past couple of episodes, they don't remember a whole lot. They remember fragments. Oops. So they actually deduce that it's probably Rufus, because he actually has that power. He has the power to erase your memory. They're assuming maybe this is payback for Marie literally blowing off his dick. Like, seriously? Exploding his penis? So they try to go after him. They try to go after Rufus because they assume it's him. And Kate actually tells this story of something disgusting that he did. So supposedly Rufus, like Kate had an encounter with Rufus. They met in like psych class or whatever. Rufus said something like, I like your gloves, and then Kate remembers waking up days later with the camera to her face, and then Rufus saying like, scream or say anything and I'll wipe you again, like wipe her memory again. Now that's pretty bad. Not pretty bad, that's extremely bad. Well, our characters rightfully ask, are you okay? Did you tell anyone? And she's just like, and say what? He has me on camera consenting. So, pretty bad stuff, pretty evil stuff right there. So our characters, specifically Marie and Jordan, they go after... Oh, the music's about to end. They go after Rufus, trying to find where he is. Andre as well. Andre, hearing that, you know, his new girlfriend, what this guy did to her, he rightfully storms off and tries to find this guy. And you can't really blame him. I would probably do the same. So they actually encounter Rufus speaking with Dean Shetty. Jordan is also trying to talk to Marie like, we're cool, right? What happened last night, it doesn't have to make it awkward between us. You know, our minds were completely screwed up by Rufus, so it was probably just that. Yeah? Let's just move on and not make this a big deal. Not make this awkward. Alright? Cool. We're cool. They spot Rufus speaking with Dean Shetty, so they chase after him. But then turns out that wasn't Rufus. That was another guy who has shape-shifting abilities. The real Rufus went back to his room, where Andre is waiting. However, the moment Andre touched him, you know, Rufus made him go away. And the moment Andre wakes up, he's ordering Vought burgers, holding up the line. There's also this scene where the husband to Dr. Cardosa, he's ready to call it quits. Because, you know, his family was almost killed, so he wants out. But we all know he's not going to leave. He says that he's almost done developing a virus to control them. What does that mean, I wonder? Some sort of mind control virus to control soups? People with compound V coursing through their veins? Maybe that's it? I don't know what else control them would mean. Control the students? But why specifically the students? So we'll have to wait and see. We find out that this doctor actually wants Marie because her powers are super rare and would be super helpful to accelerate the process, the development. But Dean Shetty says no, at least no for the time being. Emma is actually quite popular now because everyone loves the fact that she can grow big and I guess chug down a barrel of beer. I don't know. But she's popular now and she likes it. Her mother actually warned her not to grow big because her mother called her a monster for some sort of incident that happened in the past. But, you know, Emma, she doesn't care about what her mother thinks anymore. She'll do her own thing. And if she likes being popular due to the fact that she can grow big, then she'll do it. So, Marie goes back to her room, where Emma's at. They talk. Emma actually finds a sweatshirt that had whatever Sam said. So, instead of thinking Sam is crazy, they actually believe that he's telling the truth, that something happened to their memories. Oh, also following up earlier about Marie's blood powers to be able to tell periods. She's also able to sense if someone's blood is their own. Because she points out that Sam has blood under his nails, and they're not his. Speaking of Sam, there was a sequence where Sam is alone again in that, like, place, that arcade, restaurant place, abandoned place that he's at. I can't remember what it is. Chuck E. Cheese kind of place. Sam is hallucinating the puppets again. Even hallucinates a puppet version of Emma. And then hallucinates like an Air Force SWAT team coming after him. And then we see this like gruesome puppet show where Puppet Sam is tearing apart all of the puppet SWAT guys. You know, ripping off their arms. You see cotton and glitter representing the blood coming out. Sam brutally ripping the dolls apart. Even one of them was saying like, I'm a single father of two. Their names are, and whatever he said. And then Sam just rips him in half. I thought at first, okay, this is another hallucination, because we saw in the last episode Sam hallucinate puppets on the TV, and just before this sequence we saw him hallucinate a puppet version of Emma. Oh god. Stupid ads. But then no, it cuts out to real life, live action, human beings, and Sam actually has torn apart like a dozen actual guys. A part of me is thinking, damn, that would have been brutal but wonderful to see. Unfortunately though, I guess it might have been a little too much for TV, even for this show. So they reduced it down to puppets. Damn, that would have been great to see. But then Sam runs off. Actually, no, he wasn't at the restaurant. He was in some sort of, like, drain canal. And then he runs off back to the restaurant or wherever he likes to hide out at. Marie and Emma, they're about to leave to go and try to find Sam, but then but then Marie feels something in her neck. At first I thought, does she have a hickey? Is there a hickey on her neck from, you know, her night with Jordan? But then no, she's just like, there's blood clot here. And then she uses her powers to remove something out of her neck. It's a damn tracker. Classic Vought action. We saw Starlight remove her tracker in, I forget, season 1 or 2? I think it was season 1. And then we literally just saw in The Boys season 3, Black Noir remove his tracker. So classic Vought behavior, putting trackers in their quote-unquote test subjects or peoples of interest, they're victims. So, she needs to go and talk to Kate. Emma now has to go alone to go and find Sam. It's actually not specified whether or not Marie removed the tracker out of Emma, if she even had a tracker or not. That's not specified. Whatever. Marie goes to Kate, trying to tell her, trying to warn her, like, I think something major fucked up happened to all of us. Something is going on with the school. Our memories really were erased. I had a goddamn tracker in my neck. So, Kate's just like, do I have one? Marie reaches out her hand to try to see, but then Kate grabs Marie's hand and is like, I'm sorry. And it turns out it's Kate who erased everyone's memory, not Rufus. Not gonna lie, I did not see that twist coming. So Kate erased Marie's memories again. So let's see, in the hallway we have Jordan talking to that invisible guy once again. I forget his name. He's trying to tell her, like, he's trying to comfort her to see if she screwed up or not with Marie. Like, maybe Marie only likes me as a boy, not a girl. Blah, blah, blah. And then that invisible guy, whatever his name is, he's just like, I don't judge. I sometimes go invisible into the girls' change room and watch them jerk off in the shower, or I go into the guys' room. It's like, what? What? The fucking writing in this show. And then the alpaca character walks by, and he's just like, hold on, baby, wait! What the fuck? Anyway, so Jordan's now alone. Marie walks out into the hallway. Jordan's just like, remember when I said we were cool earlier? Because Kate erased Marie's memories again, she's just like, no you didn't. Hey, what happened to your neck? What the hell? I don't know. I don't know what happened to my neck. Anyways, Jordan assumes that Rufus wiped her mind again. So now now Jordan is gonna go after Rufus. Emma actually goes and finds Sam, and Sam reveals that Kate has made Luke forget about him, Sam, a ton of times. So that tells Emma that it wasn't Rufus, it was Kate. So, Jordan and Marie, they go into Rufus's room, or wherever he was at. It didn't look like his room, you know? We've seen what Jordan... I keep calling him Jordan. We see what Rufus's room looks like. They fight, they kick his ass. He tries to justify, or not justify. He tries to prove and argue that he didn't do anything. He was here the whole time. In order for his powers to work, he has to be close by. And it couldn't have been him because he's been here the whole night, right? Vouch, guy smoking some good old Colombian. Excuse me. Ah, the hiccups. But then Andre shows up, completely whacking Rufus's ass. Emma calls Marie, tells her it wasn't Rufus, it was Kate. So they tried to tell Andre, it's like, it wasn't him, it was Kate. Jordan understandably doesn't believe, but then Kate shows up like, I'm so sorry. Ugh, the betrayal. So Kate, she restores all of Andre's memories. He sheds a tear, and then, calls Kate a monster. We didn't see Kate restore the memories of everyone else, but I'm assuming she did. There was also the small scene with Kate talking to Shetty. Supposedly Shetty put her up to this to protect her friends. Now, I don't know why that's the case. We haven't found that out yet. Wonder what kind of dirt Shetty has on her. Or if Kate knows about everything else going on, and this is really to protect them. We shall see. And that's pretty much it for this episode. It was a shorter episode compared to the rest. This one was like only 40 minutes. And then when you factor in the credits, or rather factor out the credits, it's like a 35-minute episode. Well, almost done with the season. Almost able to get to The Boys Season 4 and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. In a bit, we'll talk about Diabolical Episode 5. This episode, I tell you. This episode was something special. Oh, you know what I just remembered? I never caught the free shiny Ponyta in Legends Arceus. Like the recent replay. Oh, I need to do that. Alright. Alright, let's talk about this episode of The Boys Presents Diabolical, episode 5. This episode, can I just say, oh, this episode. Anyway, so our main character, we meet our main character, a girl named Sky, and no, I don't mean my dog. She's out at night hanging with two bitches. These girls who are not really friendly to her. So, they make her, the quote-unquote loser of the group, buy them drugs. Buy them marijuana. So, a drug dealer comes by. They make Sky get into the car. They ride off with her. The dude asks, like, what's your name? She says Sky. The dude mishears her and says Kyle. Okay. I don't know why he even made Sky get into the car. Because then they crashed into, the deep aquarium pet store kind of thing. By the way, the art style of this episode was kind of like an anime style. I liked it. I loved it. I love how every episode is a different art style. And this episode, I gotta say, is one of the more unique art styles. Because it's more like an anime. And also, the moment I heard Sky's voice, I instantly recognized, is that Aquafina? And then the episode title card even said, written by Aquafina. So yes, it was Aquafina. She has such a distinct voice. So yeah, the instant I heard even the tone of Sky's voice, I could instantly tell, is that Aquafina? Yes, it was. So, Sky in the drug dealer's car, they crash. All of the guy's drugs and possessions get spilled onto the floor, including a little vial of Compound V. So, the drug dealer guy drives Sky back to that alleyway, throws her out the car, like literally, tosses her the bag of weed, and then drives off. All while Sky also snatched that bottle of Compound V. So she's at her quote-unquote friend's house. They're all smoking a pint. And she's just like, guys, look, it's Compound V. The stuff on the news that says it'll give you powers. They laugh at her like, no way, that's Compound V. Now fucking smoke this joint. I said smoke it. Anyway, so Sky goes back home. She's just like, is this really Compound V? Nah, there's no way, right? You know what? Fuck it. And then she just drinks it. She's just like, oh god, I really hope that wasn't meth. She wakes up in the morning, goes to the bathroom, sits down. She hears a voice calling for help in the bowl. And then it turns out there's a living, sentient turd. Okay. Imagine if this was live action, but thankfully it wasn't. So it's a living sentient turd that came out of Sky, and now she's friends with it. That drug dealer was also tied up and getting interrogated by the Deep. So the Deep is the guest character in this episode, and I'm pretty sure it's voiced by the same guy. I didn't pay attention in the credits, but it sounded like him. So he's trying to tell the Deep, like, I don't have the Compound V vial. That Kyle kid must have took it. By the way, this is taking place in like some sort of like fishing house as well. So the Deep is just giving his shark permission to do with the drug dealer whatever he wants. So the screen cuts off right as the shark jumps out of the water. And then we cut back to the shark completely devouring this guy. Bloody and everything. They actually juked me. Normally when things cut out, you know, they don't show what happened. But then they cut back and actually showed what happened. So, Sky is playing around, dressing up her shit friend, like literally her turd friend. Her friend made out of feces, her living sentient feces friend. She asks her poop friend, what's your name? Do you have a name? she's just like, no, what name would you give me? I think she said, like, well, my mother's name was, like, Georgia or whatever her mother's name was. She wanted to name her poop friend after her mother, but then she's just like, nah, I don't like that name. I like the name Areola. Okay. Naming yourself after a nipple, are we? Alright. So Areola it is. And then the Deep breaks in. Well, now Sky is at Vought Tower. Her poop friend has been seized and is going to be studied by the lab. And same thing with what we saw they offer Huey in the first episode. Or maybe the second, I forget. I think it was the second. Or the first, I forget. Vought offers these people hush money in order to not say a word of this stuff. So Sky was offered not $10,000, just a mere $1,000, to never speak of this again. She loses her fecal matter friend, who is going to be studied and probably dissected by Vought. But Sky can't allow this to happen. So after she walks out of the building, she tears up the check and walks back in. And she's not only able to infiltrate the building rather easily, she was also able to flawlessly track down where the lab is, knock out the scientist with the iPad she was given. Because aside from the $1,000, she was also offered a refurbished Vought iPad. Alright. And then she breaks her friend out. She flushes her friend Areola down the toilet in order to get her away. One would think, you know, feces and water don't mix well. But whatever. So the Deep is on Sky's track, or trace. So the Deep kicks open the door while Sky is sitting on the toilet like, oh, don't mind me, I'm just taking a shit. She literally said that. And then Sky gets kicked out. Well, she goes down to the sewers to try to find her friend Areola, but then the Deep is down there too. It's like, this is my one chance to be allowed back into the 7. So that alone is an easy timeline placement. We know that between Season 2 and 3, Deep was not allowed back into the 7. Right? Season 2 was when he would join that cult. That Fresca cult. I think it's pretty safe to say that this show is indeed canon to the overall universe, regardless of if events get referenced or not. I think it's pretty safe to say that it is canon. Except for episode 3, that one's harder to say. But then Deep just goes on this, like, self-monologue or whatever. He just keeps on rambling. Enough time for Areola to inspire Sky with her superpowers. Because they're in the sewers, Sky's power is to make poop alive and sentient. So an army of little living, breathing, alive logs of turds come up. One of them even throws a freaking butt plug into the Deep's eye, and the Deep literally said, fuck this noise, I'm out of here. I can't blame the Deep. If I was up against someone whose superpower was to make literal logs of poo alive and attack me, oh hell no, I'm out of there. Deep is right, fuck that noise, I'm out. I gotta admit, that is one of the more unique superpowers I've ever seen. I'll give them points for that. I'll give them credits for that. this episode was written by Aquafina, so credits to her for coming up with that. I tell you, I've never heard of that superpower before. I never even conceived of that before. So that one's new on me. Good for you, Aquafina. That's creative at least. Good for you. And then Sky, not only is, you know, like after school, her bitch friends are like, hey, we need your credit card or whatever. We need your card. And she's just like, no, bitch. I'm going to hang out with my actual friends. And then she makes one of her turd friends fly into the bitch's cup. You know what? I respect it. And then we see Sky back home in her room play like a board game with Areola, as well as a whole bunch of other living turds. And that's the episode. Only in animation could this have passed. Could this have slide. Can you imagine if they did this episode in live action? Just Aquafina, I would assume Aquafina would play the role. Just Aquafina with a bunch of CGI shit around her. CGI literal fecal matter around her with eyes, arms, legs, speaking. This is one of the crazier things I've ever seen. As a part of an anthology series storyline, this is one of the more outlandish, one of the crazier and, dare I say, more unique things I've ever seen. Alright, now that whenever I think back to Season 3 of The Boys, and every time I see the Deep, in my mind, I will know, well, this guy dealt with someone whose superpower is bringing poo to life. Now, whenever I'm watching Gen V, as well as watching future seasons, like The Boys Season 4, I will know in the back of my head there is indeed someone out there who drank Compound V and gained the ability to make fecal matter sentient. Okay. Alright, so next time, not only will I, more than likely, have another episode of Gen V and Diabolical to discuss, I will reluctantly, as much to my disappointment, will probably also have an episode of Ironheart to discuss. Yay. But on the bright side, we're a couple days away from Squid Game Season 3 releasing. So, at least there's that. We can balance out the bad that is Ironheart with the good that is Squid Game. Why does this Heatran not want to be shiny? I feel like it's long enough. I feel like I deserve this by now. I feel like I've put in the work to earn this by now. So I see online, I think Death Stranding 2 is, if not either already released or about to release. Yeah, I never played the original Death Stranding. I want to, though. For the sole reason of Norman Reedus. Literally no other reason. I hear the game is good, but that's not even... That's just a bonus. You know? I would be interested to play Death Stranding only for Norman Reedus. Who we will see again play Daryl Dixon in Season 3, airing September 7th. Oh, let's see. My Monferno's level 30, my Staravia's level 30, Luxio's level 28, and Bibarel's still level 27. So I still have a bit of time grinding in Eterna Forest before I move on. How's everyone doing? Hope everyone has been keeping cool in these hot days. I try my best to, but you know, like I said, the AC at work, the mall, ain't that great. When I come home, the first thing I need to do is shower because I'm just so sticky and just sweaty from all day. The whole day sweating. I don't like the heat. I much prefer the cold. If you take a look here, It feels great to finally have a Torkoal in my collection from Pokemon Go. There are still a handful of Pokemon I'm missing. Pokemon that are regionals or exclusive or whatever. I'm still missing Tropius, Relicanth, Rotom, Maractus, Sigilif, Hawlucha, Klefki. I should be getting those soon. I'm still missing Salazzle. I'm trying. I'm battling the Team Go leaders, and I'm hatching 12k eggs. It's not easy, you know? Not only do you have to hatch a Salazzle, there's a 1 in 8 chance for it to be female. So it's not easy. I don't know why it's taking Pokemon Go so long to add Honedge into the game. Honedge is the final Generation 6 Pokemon line that has not been added to Pokemon Go. Every other Pokemon from Generation 6, outside the Mythicals, have been added. Wait, have the Mythicals been added? Gen 6, I think so. Diancie, Hoopa... Yeah, and Volcanion is soon going to be added. And when I say soon, I mean like in a week. With GoFest Global. I suppose they're saving Honedge for probably Kalos Tour next year. We had Unova Tour earlier this year, and it sucked. So I suppose they're saving Honedge for, you know, the debut Pokemon, the face, the mascot of Unova Tour. Will we get a shiny Zygarde during Unova Tour? Who knows? Probably not. But it's possible. We still don't have Arceus, Manaphy, or Fiona in Pokemon Go for some reason. So Gen 4 broke the established purpose of the tours. That was making every Pokemon in the generation available and can be shiny one way or another. Ugh. Oh yeah, I'm also missing Mime Jr. in Pokemon Go. That's exclusive to Europe. Do I wish I could take a trip to Europe just to get Mime Jr. in Pokemon Go? Yes. Yes, I do. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I gotta go blow my nose. You know, my mom not abruptly, but asked me, why do I suddenly have a white one? Talk about my DSi. And I told her, Mom, this is old. This is almost 20 years old. She's just like, good. As if I'm able to keep something in working condition for that long. Not necessarily good as in, yay, more gaming stuff. Nice shiny. It's gonna be next. Watch. It's gonna be this one. Oh, you know, speaking of which, I did forget to mention. I got a shiny Regieleki in Pokemon Go today. First raid too. I didn't want to do Regieleki. Damn it. I'm actually prioritizing the 3 out of 6 Regis I do not have shiny yet. In Pokemon Go, I have shiny Regi Ice, Regieleki, and recently Shadow shiny Regigigas. But that means I do not have yet a shiny Regirock, Registeel, or Regidrago. How many days has it been for this hunt? Let's see. I see here I started this hunt June 11th. So it's been about 2 weeks. But, you know, in terms of how many days I've actively hunted for this, 7. This should be, right? This should be number 7. But it has been about 2 weeks since I started. Wow, it does not feel like it's been that long. It's getting up there, yep. Hopefully it doesn't take as long as Dialga did. Have you been watching the amazing Digital Circus? Funny you bring that up. I literally just saw that another episode came out. Titled, literally untitled. But to answer you, no, I haven't watched it yet. I heard it's good, so at some point I may get into it. And then I think I even saw it's on like Netflix also, aside from just being YouTube. It's very fun. Correct me if I'm wrong. I saw glimpses of it, and it seems like the art style changes like from every single scene. It kind of looks like a YouTube reanimated project. You ever see SpongeBob or Kirby reanimated? Those are fun. Nah, not really. It's very existential. Animation is pretty consistent. I'll have to check it out at some point. Then again, don't the episodes take a long time to come out? I imagine this animation style takes quite a while. You get an episode every 6 months? Let's see here. I'm on the Glitch channel. Amazing Digital Circus. Pilot came out a year ago. On more than a year ago. Almost 2 years ago. October 13th, 2023. I think the last time I checked in on this show, there was still only 4 episodes. And I see episode 5 came out 4 days ago. I don't know. A part of me doesn't want to wait 6 months to get one episode. It's one thing for us to wait a year for a season these days, but 6 months an episode? Then again, I can't blame them, right? It's animation. And it's not like a big production, officially made animated show like Invincible. Yes, indie animation be hard. I swear to God, isn't this on Netflix? I think it is. Amazing Digital Circus is on Netflix. Well, good for them. If not Netflix, then who knows? Maybe Amazon Prime would have taken them. They took Hazbin Hotel, didn't they? And you know what? Speaking of shows with amazing in it, we got the... I think we got the title for Season 7 of Amazing World of Gumball. And it's not Amazing World of Gumball. It's now called The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball. Man, I don't understand why shows, they have to rebrand whenever the show comes back. I don't think Phineas and Ferb did. I don't think something like Totally Spies did. So we're going from The Amazing World of Gumball on Cartoon Network to now The Wonderfully Weird World of Gumball on Hulu. And I see Gumball has a different design too, or at least he has a different shirt now. Think of like, you know, going from Daredevil to Daredevil Born Again. I don't completely understand why they need to completely rebrand everything when it's just a continuation. Why not just call it the original product and just say, after a long gap, a new season's finally here. Anyways, Glitch also did Murder Drones. What's that? I see something here called the Gaslight District. Meta Runner, Sunset Paradise. Ah, here it is. Murder Drones. What's this? Episode 1, Pilot. I don't know why Episode 1s are always called Pilot. I don't know what Murder Drones is. Yeah, I don't know what this is. It kind of looks like, kind of looks like Astrobot. It looks like Astrobot, but it also kind of, to me, give off like a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of vibe. Anyways, I'm gonna end this soon. Not only did I not do the dishes yet tonight, I also want to go to bed. With my sister gone for 2 days, I need to be the one to wake up early to feed the dogs. And I tell you, these little bastards, they are needy. They get up early in the morning and demand food. Not only that, you have to wake up and let them outside, otherwise we're afraid they'll pee in the house. So after you let them outside, you tell them it's too early, we'll feed you later. They refuse. They bark, they whine until we get up and feed them. And then you know me. When I wake up early in the morning, I can't easily fall back asleep. By the time I do fall back asleep, well, I don't have much time to sleep anymore. Then I gotta get up. Wow, that voice crack. Then I gotta get up again. Anyways, my Luxio is now level 30 as well. Alright, nothing like having a team of level 30 before even taking on the second gym leader. Oh, look at that. Luxio's evolving. I'm gonna have a Luxray even before the second gym. And the only electric move my Luxray knows is Spark. Doesn't even learn a new move upon evolving, huh? One more reset. Anyway, so, as you can see here, I'm still in Eterna Forest. Well, here's my team for now. I just need to level up my HM slave, and then I can go. Alright, last encounter for tonight. And no shiny. Well, see you guys next time.